proposing that the city of Spokane Valley issue a proclamation stating that our city is a Second Amendment sanctuary city.
Welcome to the fire.
Today on Church and State, what do you eat when you're visiting Russia? Well, fried chicken.
And also, Xi Jinping and President Putin are caught having a secret conversation that you have to hear.
Plus, we're going to be talking about district attorney brag and why there's not much to brag about there, Gabe. Hello, Christian Patriots, and welcome to Church and State, where we strive to plug you into the pew and plug you into politics. I'm your host, Caleb Collier. With me, as always, Pastor Gabe Blomgren.
And I'm going to call you Donut Guy.
I am a little bit of a donut
You're the
guy.
donut guy.
Do you not like donuts?
No, dude, you can't be sad while having either a donut in your hand or pie, especially on an overcast day like today where we're in the Pacific Northwest, and it's just more just gross weather. But in Jesus' name, spring is actually here.
So here's the thing, man.
But a donut,
you know me, man. If there's something strange on the menu, what am I gonna do?
You're gonna try it.
I gotta try it, right? If it's weird, I'm gonna have to get this thing. So I was over at Donut Parade. By the way, have I ever told this story about the wedding?
Oh, I think you have. But
have I before?
I don't
okay.
think you.
Donut Parade was actually my groom's cake. Right, that's actually what I used for my groom's cake. I served bacon maple bars, 2 gigantic bacon maple bars, and the guests absolutely loved it. And this was came out. They just came out. Everybody loved them. So I was over at Donut Parade the other day, and my kids had been begging me because their school's right by it. They're begging me, "Can we go? Can we go?" So I finally just surprised them and pulled in. And I'm looking at the donuts, and what do I see, Gabe? What do I see? A dill pickle fritter. Now, Gabe, apple fritters are probably one of my favorite donuts. You like apple fritters?
I love apple fritters, but a dill pickle, dude, I don't know about that.
Dill pickle, yeah.
So I'm gonna try this.
Yes, I've already tried it. You're gonna try it first. I gotta watch. I gotta see.
It looks like a chunk of jalapeno.
I guarantee you. So our audience probably thinks we're both pregnant right now. Who in their right mind would want a dill pickle fritter? Well, what are your thoughts here? He's stunned. He's absolutely stunned. No? Nope. Not good?
This is not good.
Why don't you like it? Tell the audience what you're experiencing.
A for creativity. I'll give it that. But it reminds me kind of like the dill taste is just so off-putting. It does not go with donut.
No? I don't mind it.
It's not bad. It's not there.
Are you going to eat the rest of it?
Yeah, I'll always eat food.
Of course you're going to eat the rest of it. Yeah. So, hey, if you want to experience this odd donut, go over to Donut Parade. Ask for the dill pickle. Tell them Church and State sent you. They won't know who we are. Whatever. All right. Gabe, let's get into this story. We're already on food, right?
What do you want to do? You're going to skip the 100-year.
I'm sorry. No. You're right. Go ahead.
This is, buckle up. We said this an episode ago after watching the fanfare. And Caleb really likes the guards that sit there. We're going to see these guards here in a second. Clay Clark tweeted this morning, or actually truthed. He didn't tweet. He posted this video, which we're going to show here in a second, of what's been going on. And there was a secret conversation. And I don't know how secret it is. There was not supposed to be microphones. There's no microphones present, but obviously this conversation was caught outside. Excuse me, I had to swallow some pickle. Okay, so when these two talk, it's important. And when these two are in the same room, it's important. And I believe, we're going to see the ripple effects of this. Those of you who have sons and daughters who are contemplating going and joining, the armed forces, I would hesitate.
Don't do it.
I would pause.
Don't do it.
Because these two remind me of two schoolyard bullies planning out how they're going to excise justice across the school.
Let me just jump in here real quick,
go for
because you remember when you and I were teenagers and we were trying to impress girls, and every single girl wanted to watch one movie, just one, Legends of the Fall.
Ooh, yeah, for
That's
sure.
all they wanted to watch, man. It was a nightmare too.
And everyone named their kid Tristan.
Oh,
there's
so many. If you're named Tristan, I'm sorry.
sorry,
I am sorry.
There's only one reason you have that name.
Yeah,
it's that movie.
It's that movie. It is. But did you like the movie? I didn't like the movie.
So the best scene is when he goes in the middle of the night and he basically kills a bunch of Germans with knives.
Yeah.
Like he solo goes off. That's the best part of the movie.
So,
and then of course there's a little bit of fishing. I like the fishing.
My favorite part in the movie is when Anthony Hopkins says, "No child of mine is going to die in a banker's war." Yes. And that is the circumstances that we find ourselves
all
in
that
right
was
now.
just to get to that quote.
Just that. I know. I'm very random. Dude, I've had dill pickle donuts. I cannot be held responsible for what is coming out of my mind right now.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, what is going on as a banker's war? So, those of you who have sons, daughters, grandchildren, do not let them join the armed services. Let them stay home and defend our country. Why? Because I'm sorry, these arse hats are going to be sending their clowns over to this country.
Is that King James Version?
Yeah, an arse hat. It's a King James version. Don't.
I get why people say you're more controversial than me.
Join the military.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it right now. And this is coming from a Marine, right? I loved my time in the Marine Corps, but it was a different time. It was a different Corps as well. The things that they're doing. I just read a story, Gabe. The Marine Corps is actually disbanding their scout snipers. Why in the world would you do something like that?
That was such a good program because it put the enemy on edge. Like anywhere, you have the constant threat of your head being popped off by an incoming army. Never mind the artillery hasn't even come yet, but you have scout snipers who are not only doing recon, but there's a possibility of you losing your head.
Yep, absolutely.
From a mile out. How's that going to make you feel?
Yeah, I know. And so they're disbanding. It's just goofy. So yeah, we are very pro veteran and for the people that serve. We understand why they're doing it. Now we are a little bit, because we're constitutionalists, we are a little bit wary of a standing army. But that being said, we're not attacking military. I want people to understand that. We're just saying with what the globalists are totally in control of this country. There is wars and rumors of wars. I mean, it's literally end time scenario right now with what China and Russia is doing. It's not a time to go volunteer.
No. So this is coming from Clay Clark, who tweeted this. This is his crew made this video. Check this out. This you're going to hear, and I'm going to actually, because it's in another language, I'm going to pause it in increments to be able to show you what they're saying.
More donut.
Okay. Highlight. Okay. Right now we are seeing a change we haven't seen. This has been translated, and these two are talking. And right now we are seeing a change we haven't seen for 100 years, and we're driving this change together. This is coming from the mouth of Xi Jinping to Vladimir Putin. Caleb, what is he saying? 100 years, what?
Right? It's extremely interesting when you consider that statement. 100 years, right? What was going on 100 years ago?
I have a tree I just cut down. 1923 is when that tree was up, just in my front yard here. 100-year-old tree, counting the rings. 1920, 100 years ago. What was the climate like?
Yeah, well, what was going on in Russia, right? We just gone through the Bolshevik Revolution.
Yep.
So we had the establishment of a communist nation. What we had seen in China, right? Communism was infiltrating. So there was a lot of issues that was going on there as far as stripping away individual rights of people. And now they're saying they're redoing it. They're coming back together after 100 years. They're coming back together. And I'll tell you, this is an extension. For those of you who thought that the United States wielded so much power that we could just do anything we wanted across the world, when we went after Russia and then just lately started to go after China because the globalists pulled the strings of their puppet over here, what did you think was going to happen? Do you think they're just going to sit idly by and be like, hey,
we're just gonna waste time.
Nobody can go and nobody can stand up against the United States. I guess we just gotta cower in fear here.
Down, so we'll just wait. We'll wait. We want to be
You're
a fair
driving them together. And if you don't think that a combined Russia-China is extremely dangerous to the United States, you're a moron.
Yeah. Listen to the rest here. Right now, we are seeing a change we haven't seen for 100 years, and we're driving this change together. I agree. Already 2/3 of trade turnover between our countries is carried out in rubles and yuan. So this is we see Vladimir Putin already. He's bragging now that his country is pretty much off of
the dollar. Yeah.
The petrodollar no longer rules them. They're doing trade in yuan, which is the Chinese currency, and rubles. So these two nations together, combined, okay? We are for the use of Chinese yuan in settlements between Russia and the countries of Asia, Africa, and Latin America. This is your security.
It just looks so ridiculous.
So weird.
They're just like eyeballing them. They lift their head way up. It's just strange looking.
Yeah, we showed this clip yesterday. This is them shaking hands.
China has recently invited Indonesia, Malaysia, Iran, Egypt, and several other countries to join BRICS, a growing world alliance led by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. BRICS is also pushing a digital currency and has launched a vaccine research and development center for member states.
One of my main impressions.
I'm going to hold there. That's all relevant. But what I really wanted to get across right now is we're seeing 100-year change. We're seeing us go back to a time, like Caleb said. So,
well, look at the nations that are involved in this, right? So they bypassed the United States. That's something that's important for our audience to note. There is no seat at the table for the United States in this organization. And you've got Brazil, you've got Russia, you've got South Africa, you've got plus all these other nations that they're inviting into this, right? In Mexico just announced just the other day that they were interested in actually getting involved in this. So you've got all these nations that are uniting against the United States. Our dollar, man, I mean, we're already in trouble. The Federal Reserve just raised the interest rate yesterday, and now we're going to have inflation that's going to occur throughout the nation, and in some ways throughout the world as well. But they're taking these steps to isolate the United States to where we are no longer the global superpower. What do you think that's going to do for your freedoms?
Or even your finances, the whole country, the revenue we've been reaping, the fact that our nation doesn't even have to produce anything. Everything is already made in China. Why? Because the petrodollar, it was floating us. And that's going away. That's disappearing before our very eyes. And the thing is, people think, well, you know, it seems pretty good now. Well, we've seen a downturn, and chaos does not happen overnight. It takes time for this breaking down, and we're seeing it. Look at Detroit.
I'm almost looking forward to it, man. Like, you know that phrase that everybody loves to throw around there about, you know, strong men and all that, right? Creating, you know, power or strong, good times and things like that, right? So we have been in this decadent Roman Empire,
right,
for so long now that I'm just so tired of it. We're literally looking to be offended constantly. This rise in the transgenderism, it's just narcissism. It's some weird fetish narcissism, and they're just looking. They're trying. They're going out every single day looking for some way to get offended so they can tweet about it or do some TikTok video about it. I'm ready for a purge almost. Gabe.
You look like you're ready to flip over the table. Like,
Jesus,
let's go.
Yeah, but seriously, I'm like, let's have a good hard reset of this country so that the strong rise to the top. And yeah, maybe it hurts a little bit for a while, but I really believe that I don't think that God's going to let the United States just completely collapse and disappear.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying.
No. But I do think we need that kind of a hard reset so that strong, good, patriotic Christians will rise to the top again and take back this nation and put it back together the way it was intended to be.
Yeah, and then of course we see, you know, the need for bartering, for gardens, for owning your own silver,
victory gardens.
So the thing is, we're not saying we want the nation to be destroyed by any means. We're saying we need to see, honestly, the weak rise up take your arms, roll back those sleeves, and be prepared to work hard. That's all we're saying. We're not saying we want the country to be destroyed by any means. But side note, what would you think, Caleb? The heads of state of China travel all the way to Russia. Of all the foods, wouldn't you say they would want elegant food? I'm talking your most Russian, wonderful meals. Like,
what is the Russian wonderful meal?
Like a pierogi. I don't know.
That's about it, right?
Like you wrap some meat.
What's on the menu? Vodka and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Welcome to Russia. So I don't know. I'd serve
some
them like a dill pickle donut.
There
probably.
you go.
Yeah.
We have video that is hilarious of what was being served in Russia to the heads of state. They decided they wanted KFC, of all things, Caleb. They wanted Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now, of course, if you contact Kentucky Fried Chicken, they'll tell you after the Russian war that as a company, they pulled out of Russia. But supposedly, I guess it was
supposed to be rebranded, yeah.
But that doesn't look like any other brand but KFC.
That looks like KFC. And you can clearly see that both
he's got the Colonel Sanders there on the bag. That's
but you can what I was going to point out, Gabe, is you can clearly see the heads of these two states, China and Russia, are clearly heathens, because if not, they would have ordered Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, the salvation is all about Chick-fil-A. Well, this video is awesome because there's some interesting things. Like one person in a tweet pointed out, they just dropped the bags off on the ground. So there's that. And then Caleb knows this, but I guess everybody smokes in Russia because the guy constantly bringing them food is smoking. So there's that. Anyway, here we go.
I mean, and for the radio audience, this is just, they're literally just, they got their trunk open in their car and they've got 18 bags of fried chicken.
Just dropping it off.
Like, here's the thing, man. I'm actually worried about their health. We might not even have a war anymore, because if they're eating 18 bags of KFC.
Check out this guy. His mask is off and he's got a cigarette in his mouth. Yeah. So that's awesome. Your chicken's gonna taste like cigarettes.
They don't care. Everything over there tastes like cigarettes.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess if you're this is the hotel where the Chinese delegates are staying, and they wanted KFC that had touched the ground.
But seriously, man, their cholesterol is probably through the roof. 18. Could you handle 18 bags of fried chicken?
No, but I could pack away a few bags myself. I've been known to like me some KFC. I like that extra crispy.
I just eat the skins off of it.
Here in America, it's definitely not a very healthy meal, but every once in a while you just need some greasy chicken from the Colonel.
Not the Colonel, man. There's so many better.
There is better options, but tell you, I was raised broke, dude.
Have you been to the South? You've been to the South, right?
Oh yeah, dog.
Man, the fried chicken they have in the South, holy cow!
So when you're in the South and they say the word scald, because you don't fry chicken, you get a mean scald on that chicken.
They call it the yard bird too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. The yard bird.
Yeah, there's a way to do chicken, and it's not just fried. You got to scald it. So,
all right, let's talk about this Bragg idiot.
Yeah, this dude is getting his butt kicked,
as he should be. I mean, this case is so flimsy, and I mean the amount of conservatives that are pointing out how many other individuals should have been arrested and prosecuted. I mean, you took on Hillary Clinton with her emails, right? Remember that scandal?
Yep.
Even her husband, Bill Clinton, he could have been arrested.
And people pointed out that he had hush money as well. Because
he does, yeah.
While we're on the subject of hush money, kind of involving Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump, okay, there was tons of hush money for loads of women with Bill Clinton. I'm not saying that it's right.
Yeah, Bill Clinton for sure. But I mean, look at Biden. Like Joe Biden, obviously, and Hunter Biden. Where's his laptop? I mean, Hunter Biden is now suing the guy who he turned the computer over for it to be repaired. He's now suing him for not returning it to him. That's not how it works. If you just leave something there, Gabe, if you dry clean your suit and you just leave it there, are they responsible to return it?
No.
No, and so yeah, it's just, you can see clearly how convoluted our justice system has become, And this guy has got all this dark money ties to George Soros. He's got dark money ties to this color pack. And this color pack is the ones that got all the squad. You remember the squad, how much we love them?
Yeah.
But these were the ones that were pushing for defunding the police. He's known as a very squishy DA. He's literally told, when he first came on into office, he literally told people that he did not want to prosecute certain cases. He's talking about how there were certain gun cases. Of course, if you're a conservative and you have a gun, then you can expect to be prosecuted. But no, not if you're just a criminal. So there's all these things that this guy has done: robbery, assault. He's dropped so many of these cases. He supported a woman who stabbed her husband to death, claiming that it had been domestic violence, that she had actually just been defending herself. That's not what the case actually showed. But he said that he was going to support her, and then didn't. So the PAC actually removed some of their money from it. There's also a scandal against this guy, Gabe, against from a woman who is still unnamed, but she claimed that he was doing some shady things with her.
Ooh, not surprised there. Well, the bones that are here, they're important and relevant to you listening. For what it concerns Donald Trump, is the hearing has been suspended and will not likely convene till next week. So this grand jury has, obviously he could say, yes, I have an indictment against the former president, but the grand jury is hung up on something. We can only guess on that, but it's been suspended till next week, which is a huge answer to prayer for us who've the reality is dude, he could be killed. All kinds of stuff could happen. I obviously think Donald Trump would probably not be arrested and put in a jail cell. He would more than likely be on some form of ankle monitor.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He's guaranteed for life Secret Service protection.
But they also told him that, it was supposedly also said, I can't explain the validity of this, but the Secret Service would have to surrender him to the New York police.
Yes, I know that, but I'm saying
he'd be in possession.
If he was put in prison, he's still a former president of the United States. He still has that Secret Service protection. So what's it going to look like?
Yeah.
Like how does he do jail time with a protection detail? Right? So I mean, the guy would be secured no matter what. And I don't think he'd have to worry. Although, you know what? They assassinated JFK. Our own government assassinated JFK. So who knows what they just seem to have. I almost said something I shouldn't have said, but they are pursuing Donald Trump with everything that they possibly have to try to get something to stick.
Right.
It's literally, Gabe. You remember when I threw axes? How bad I was.
It couldn't stick.
It could not stick. I don't know why, but I can shoot all right, but I cannot throw an axe to save my life. Right? That's literally what they're doing. They're just continuing to throw whatever. See, something's got to stick. Something's got to be able to take this guy down. And Donald Trump just continues to surprise everyone. But he's why was he called Teflon Don?
Yeah, and so they're trying to say on both sides. The attorney's office is saying that it could be for the fact that Bragg wants to call on more witnesses, or that he's reconsidering or perhaps pressured to reconsider going through with pressing for an indictment of Trump. So he may drop this all together. But this is a source from the New York Post said this. This is the quote. In the words of the New York Post source, a source with ties to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office told the Post that Bragg was concerned following Costello's testimony. The last thing he wants is for the grand jury to vote against him. So it's starting to come apart, which, part of me sees when you touch this guy, he is Teflon Don. But the other part of me is like, if you put this guy in cuffs, my prayer is that everyone here on the political side of Patriot stays calm. Don't react. Don't do something stupid.
You know how I'm such a big fan of P.T. Barnum, right? And I'm constantly just saying the line of there's no such thing as bad publicity. Do you ever think Donald Trump is sitting in his bunker with petting a hairless cat?
No.
Just no. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Just petting his hairless cat, and just as they come after him and attacking him over and over and over again, he's just like, Smithers, excellent. Hey, honestly, all of these attacks are just promoting him.
Yeah.
The guy's not going away because you won't let him go away.
And we were talking about it the other day. If they just will let him go, He probably would have been under the radar, but I think between the banks imploding and his polls being up as being the front runner, they're starting to get worried. And let's talk about, we're going to, in the next episode here in a minute, be talking about DeSantis, but we can jump the gun a little bit. I think DeSantis has made his move. He is, I think to the left, they're hoping he gets in. And I think he's the stalking horse that is going after Trump. And I think he's just made his move by his lack of supporting him in the very state that he lives. The irony is the other day he said, I've got way more pressing things than this. I have to take care of Floridians. And then pause. We stopped and looked at each other and said, Donald Trump is a Floridian.
Well, but then he goes right after that, right after making that statement, he goes on Piers Morgan and starts bashing Trump.
Right.
Wait. I thought you didn't have time for that.
Yeah.
So no, it's goofy.
So what is it?
But seriously, let's just go back to Trump again for a minute. Why do you think he became the front runner in 2016? I have a possible explanation for this. It's because the mainstream media, all of the comedians, the late night talk show hosts, what were they saying? Do it. They were so excited for Trump to jump in here because they were making a mockery of the Republican Party that Donald Trump could be a candidate for president. And what did the people say? Because the people are so sick of getting the left-wing doctrine rammed down their throat that they went, you know what? That's the guy you don't want. Right. So that's the guy I'm going to support. And what happened? Well, he became a really, really good president. And that's coming from me, somebody who's a member of the Constitution Party. Like, the guy did some really good things as president of the United States. And you're probably shocked to hear me say that, but he did. And so now they're going at him as hard as they possibly can, whatever can stick, charge him with something, do whatever we can. Let's get a potential, and I don't want to say this about DeSantis yet, but let's get a potential dark horse in there that we can funnel all the Trump supporters to, and we control.
He's way more outspoken and politically savvy than Jeb Bush. So this guy's an actual runner. Bush had no chance with Jeb Bush. And then sadly, Ted Cruz, caused a lot of division between some of me and my friends, because I had a lot of people. I was really glad that you didn't like Ted Cruz. You and I never liked Ted Cruz. We never cared for him. But, whether he's a good guy or not is up for debate. But Ted Cruz never really made it. So that was kind of a few. But DeSantis is loved by so many people. And
he is.
So this is going to be interesting.
2024 is going to be one of the more interesting elections, I think. And I know a lot of political pundits say stuff like that, but it's definitely going to be an interesting one. And if you want proof, well, it's happening right now. Look at what's going on. There's your proof that this is most certainly going to be one for the ages, Gabe, I would say.
It'll be huge.
Huge. I like that a lot. All right. Church and State is sponsored in part by the Constitution Party, empowering you to put faith into action. And with that, Church and State is out.
God bless.